So my older brother is a very big inspiration in my life, and there's quite a few. One of them is my pastor. Before my pastor came along in my life, it was always my brother. My brother lived a life that was inspired by me because he was a street dude. And growing up where we grew up in South Central Los Angeles, you had to be a survivor. And to survive on the streets of Los Angeles, you had to be taught by uppercase G, not a lowercase, but an uppercase. And that's what my brother was. He did things and lived a life that was so inspiring to me, what made me wanted to have that same life. So I made sure that in every area of my life, I was a bad boy in the streets. ReMarcAble was actually my birth name because of my grandmother, because how the chain of event came from me being birthed. That's why she came up with the name ReMarcAble. So once I found God, I decided I want to live a remarkable life. And the way I live a remarkable life I decided if I want God's best, I need to give him my best, because I don't believe in asking for something from someone that I don't give in exchange. Well, I would never say that I wasn't a Christian because I always believed in God. And it's funny when I say that because whenever I got in trouble, I was called on God. So I always knew God, but I always knew the true God, but I had very little knowledge of him because I didn't serve him. And I wasn't in a place where I was getting taught to learn about him. But because of my grandparents, she always took us to churches, so I knew about God and Jesus. So whenever it came, I got in trouble, like, please, Lord, please, Lord, please, Lord, you know what I mean? But God is so good. Even when I wasn't serving him, he was still serving me. And that's what made me come to God, because when I did really get in trouble, was facing 48 years in the state penitentiary. I was fighting for my life, falsely accused of a crime that I never even committed. So I promised God, Lord, if you get me out of this, that I'll give you my life. Without God, before I became to God in 1998. In 1998, before God, well, let me accelerate a little further and then come back. I turned 50 Shades Young 2 years ago. It was the greatest day of my life. When I told my wife I didn't want any of the traditional stuff that people get when they're 50. I don't need no lavish toys. Don't need a big old party or ball. I got on my knees and I thank God for me turning 50 Shades Young. Because you know why? The first set of 50s, I messed up. He allowed me to get another set of 50s. And I was so happy because by me giving my life to Christ, this second set of 50s that I'm about to live, I got my mind right. I got my heart right. I'm living for a purpose to serve Christ. And with those 50 Shades Young that he allowed me to receive, I have no health issues, never had surgery. I ain't on parole or probation, nor on paperwork. I got nobody looking for me. I don't gotta look over my back. I ain't gotta worry about the police. That's what God did for me. Versus before I served Christ, when I was serving Satan. When I was serving Satan, everything went. I lived life without no purpose because I lived on the edge, which I called back then I was a cliffhanger, because any moment I could have got taken out because of how I was living. I still knew God, but I didn't know God on the level that I know him now. That right now, new levels mean new devils. But them new levels and them devils that I gotta fight, I got no problem. I know God got my back like a chiropractor, because I purpose in my heart to each and every day to please him and not please man. So living before without Christ versus now living with Christ, the benefit that I have, I live a careless life. So, like I say, that I give all honor and credit to my man of God, Dr. Philip Godot. So, back in 2010, he taught a message called Multiple Revenue Stream. At that time, I was working for Caltrans. I was doing about $90,000 a year. But here's how powerful his words is. That message stuck to me like Velcro. I walked away from my job. But guess what? I know order, because he taught order. Order demands increase. When I say I walked away from my job, but I used order, I didn't just walk away. I prayed and asked God to be released from my job. I trust and believe in my pastor's word about God so much. I walked away, I left my pension. I have 4 more years to be fully invested to get a check for the rest of my life. But how many know God's bigger than a check? Right now, today, because I followed my pastor about multiple revenue streams, he said you need a minimum of 4 revenue streams to beat this so-called recession and to be successful. The checks I used to wait for, I now write because I followed my man of God. And in ReMarcAble Enterprise, though I said, God, you give me the vision to start a business, so I need you to back me in it in every area. But guess what? Like I said, new levels, new devils. When I was working, my job, like I say, paid me great money. My job was my God, but I was still serving God. I had a predetermined check every month. So I never had to worry about nothing. My family, we took lavish vacations, sometimes 7 vacations a year. My kids, I purchased whatever they wanted. One of my daughters was getting a new car every year. Another daughter, she had, at the age of 20, had just 20 cars that I had purchased for her. So see, that was my God. But the true test of my faith came when I left my job. Because every morning when I woke up, before my feet touched the ground, Satan was already attacking me. What are you going to do now? That job, you thought you were successful. You don't have that job. Being an entrepreneur, you don't have a predetermined check. You work every single day to get a check, whether you know you're going to get one or not. ReMarcAble Enterprise consists of ReMarcAble Auto World, Downtown Towing, Simply ReMarcAble Foundation, ReMarcAble Furniture Outlet, Optavia, which is Optavia is also this way of teaching people how to eat. We have Art by Bree, which is my youngest daughter who graduated out of college, building her own practice in another one of my companies, ReMarcAble Room and Board, which is a company that I started after all those other companies. When I got semi-successful, went back to God and said, Lord, I got these other engines up and running. Now what vehicle should I use to help the world? When prayed about it, fast about it, I'll never forget. I was in church one night, had all day duty, and he gave it to me. That's how ReMarcAble Room and Board came. So ReMarcAble Room and Board is another company that I am and my family trying to put an end to homelessness in Sacramento. We have 22 locations that house homeless people to get them off the street. And so in that company, we have Legacy Inn, Home Sweet Home, Art by Bree, and then there's another company that's been birthed by my daughter, which is Hims and Hers, which is that she started her own clothing line and that she's going to empower homeless people to make their clothes, tailor their clothes, what's this, so their clothes don't be falling off of them, so they could look like men and women of valor. So all of these companies that's built under ReMarcAble Enterprise all goes back to one purpose, serving Christ. So that we could get them in a position so they can get acclimated with their families, so that they could realize who God is in their life and that somebody else loved them. So this is how ReMarcAble Enterprise came, strictly from Dr. Philip Godot, multiple revenue streams. And because I followed that message now, that I have put myself in position to collect multiple revenues off of different avenues. And I strategically done that by sitting next to him in business seminars, reading books that he wrote, Grace for the Marketplace, How to Slay Your Financial Giant. That's what got me to where I am now. The whole message of this video is to motivate you, to inspire you, and hopefully it will be a life-changing situation for you, because you may relate to it or know someone else that will relate to it. And believe in God that it's going to bless you beyond measures. And if you really, really trust and believe in this, study it, meditate on it. If you find yourself in a situation similar as mine, do the same thing I did. Call out to God and watch what he'll do in your life, because I'm telling you, serving Christ got me living this boss life. I would not trade it for the world. No man could steal what I got or even pay me to walk away from what I've been experiencing with God.